generally try to keep positive talk, but there was something that happened over the weekend that I think is worth discussing, and I love that having somebody in the business, because us as fans can pontificate on something, especially when it's like, okay, that wasn't supposed to happen, whatever the case may be. And that was an incident at Knox Pro this past weekend, and I'm still getting up on the details because I learned about it like at the end of the Forbidden Door show. Eamon and Merlin were talking to me about it, and I was like, "Did you see this stuff?" I'm like, "No, what are we talking about? What's happening?" Wait, Rampage Jackson has a son. First off, anyways, so was it Raja Jackson was involved in the Knox Pro show? I'm not going to show any footage; it's pretty graphic and stuff, but we'll talk about it. Apparently, there was some. Well, I don't know, we'll just call some shenanigans of some sort that led to this. But at some point, he decided that he had clearance, allegedly from the promotion, to do a run-in on a match. And when he did so, and I watched a clip of, apparently he was on Kick streaming at the time, like sitting in a chair at ringside, right? Sitting in the first row at ringside.
Live streaming.
And saying like, yeah, they gave me clearance. I can go at this guy. If he swings back at me, it's going to be, it's going to be done, kind of thing.
But didn't swing back at him.
No, he didn't have a chance. So those don't know, Raja ran into the ring and attacked the guy who apparently had thrown a beer can at him earlier in the night. So there's some he didn't just do this to do this, out of nowhere and stuff. So, and allegedly, somebody told him that, asked him what he knew of a receipt was in wrestling and things like that. And that's what led to this. Cops are involved. The guy was like, I think the guy is in a hospital, last I knew. And it's kind of a sketchy situation. Knox Pro is, you guys don't know, is one of the co-owners is Rikishi. And it is a WWID, or at least it was, promotion. Those have, my understanding, has disappeared from social media since the incident. So, and also, like, Katie and I visited this promotion. We were doing work a year or so ago out in California, and we're like, hey, let's go check this out, and it was a fun, kind of wrestling show. And then they did a women's show, kind of double shot kind of situation, right? It was fun, it was cool, but yeah, so I mean, they have a training school and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, the WWID connection because Rikishi, so that'd be something of note. What was it? Toa Leone, that part of the Gates of Agony was there as part of it. Obviously, part of the family, I believe. So this thing happened. I saw a thing. Somebody was on a stream with Tom Lawler today, talking about how the higher ups have told, the rest of the roster and staff, if the police call, do not talk to them, which is kind of sketchy and not great. So like this is not being handled well on top of not being executed well on this. From the wrestler side of things, I want to hear kind of your thoughts on this, Casey.
Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, a wrestler got hurt. And like not just hurt, he was assaulted in the ring, and like that should never happen. And especially like from the frame of involving like a celebrity or a personality or another athlete from outside wrestling, is that from my experience breaking the fourth wall. But from the production side, you need to be on the same page with everyone involved. It doesn't matter if you're a director, producer, or you're on-screen talent. Everyone needs to be on the same page and understanding what the direction of the show is. And there was, from what I understand, a clear miscommunication and misunderstanding of the circumstances. A backstage segment got taken personally from what I think I know. And the dude was just handed an excuse to hurt somebody. And like, from the terrible footage, Stu couldn't even get his hands up from the moment he landed on the mat. Yeah. And this kid's a professional fighter or has experience in it. When a fight's over.
Yeah, and he was going. It's really kind of it's scary. It's scary. It's damn scary.
It made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah,
like, I told it, like, anyone that has mentioned it to me, like I've had friends and family members outside of wrestling reach out and be like, "Did you see this shit that happened?" So yeah, it's disgusting and sickening and should never happen.
And we've been a part of things where we have an outsider person kind of involved in something, right? Classically we've had Katie involved in a thing or two. We've had camera people kind of used as, for some spots and things like that.
I've trained Sean Collier to take a pedigree from Joe Murphy.
That's
at
right.
880.
That's right. And he's not trained, he's a TV personality that does the ring announcing for 880 Wrestling and Enjoy.
Exactly.
And Kincaid points out that it was a sucker punch as well in the chat room. So, the guy had no chance, especially against a professional fighter of this case. Tina's confirming that the WWID status has been revoked. And this also puts a damper on, what happens other places, right? WID is connected to several promotions, and now somebody in the boardroom's going, what are we doing? Why is our name on this thing that happened? It got all over TMZ, mostly because of Raja Jackson and the celebrity there. And then first you go in, it's like, this is WWE Superstar Rikishi's promotion and their WWID, and WWE's connected to this somehow.
Once they started peeling back the layers of the story, it all started falling into place of like, oh shit, there's like names and money and people attached to this that are in the spotlight. Yeah, and on top of and they're saying the guy that he did to was a veteran that used wrestling for his PTSD. I think. Was Potter talking to us about that maybe earlier, or was that you? That was you talking about that, and it's just like, which I'm sketchy on that part of it. Like, as when I don't know if it's a good idea. Maybe it is. If it's therapeutic, I guess, hey, podcasting can also be a bad idea for BSC. I mean, I can speak to personal experience. Like, I have had my foray in deathmatch and hardcore wrestling, and like part of it is cathartic for me, but like also at the same time, like I'm kind of one of those weirdos that think that there's an art form to it, but there's definitely like storytelling and psychology. But like wrestling as a whole, like I have definitely gotten a very positive therapeutic-esque experience.
So
like, hey, to each their own. If that's how he copes with that, more power.
So, and to have something like this happen to him is not, this guy's not going to be okay. And and frankly, there's no money to keep up on him. You know what I mean? I don't even know, other than somebody starting a Kickstarter to take care of this guy.
I think I actually saw something on Reddit or something that like Mr. Beast of all people, saw it and said that, hey, hook me up with anyone that can get me in contact with his camp to help him out.
Good.
So like, I hope that there's truth to that, like aside from whatever personal feelings that we have on a YouTuber, but someone to get involved outside of the scene and really look out for someone else like a human is what you want.
And if anybody in the chat has that on the Mr. Beast or whoever it may be, I'd love to see that too. Because I follow a lot of the Mr. Beast stuff. I'm professionally interested.
Yeah, right.
Also, Mr. Beast Burger was pretty tremendous in American Dream Mall, by the way. The one from Buca de Beppo, not great. But
good sword.
What's that?
Buca wasn't that good sword?
Well, they made it in a ghost kitchen out of Buca de Beppo in Station Square, and it tasted like it. Versus if you go to the actual one at the brick and mortar at American Dreams, deal. It's fresh. It's good. It's a lot more. It's good. Anyways, enough about hamburgers.
I kind of want to discuss something though. As a fan. As somebody who doesn't want to get in the ring ever, but also somebody who's in production.
Yes.
Where was security?
Yeah, that was one of the things. Is like,
how did he you knew that that segment happened. You knew
wait. I don't think there was any foresight from anyone on the staff or behind the scenes.
And the way he beelined, there's no chance he was sitting ringside. Riz, he was sitting closer than they do at RWA.
Ringside, no barricades.
Ringside, no barricades. There's no stopping. And this is the thing that always scares me. When there's a show like that. Especially a show, and especially the shows that we talk about in places where the people believe this shit happens, and people have swung at wrestlers and hit them. Just walking around outside.
I had a crowd spot at RWA. Like the first time I was there was a crowd spot with Johnny Norris.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know how much I should go into that, but like I had clear instructions on what to do.
Yeah, you were pulled from the crowd and attacked, right?
Yeah.
So it was one of the, but it was still like there was a very delineated this, and this. I hope they told the security, that kind of thing.
Yes.
So and it's in it. So there's only so much you can do when this guy is an athlete that jumped in the ring and jumped the guy.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we were talking before about like we said the referee stood there.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And because
just complete shell shock. Like, of course, in a situation like that where you're seeing a guy getting pummeled, it's you're just staring at the train wreck happening live in front of you.
Yeah,
You don't know what the hell to do. There's
and
no
also
amount
maybe
of preparation.
did somebody call a spot that he didn't know is another question that probably goes through his head until he realizes he watches what's happening enough to know, oh no.
Yeah.
You know, and you know how responsive he is. I can't think of too many independent referees that are prepared for something like this. Like, we know that if you have a run in at WWE, WCW, we've seen over the years, the referees kind of have a protocol of what to do.
Yeah.
I don't think that's taught at this level to anybody.
Probably because nothing to this scale has happened until now.
Yeah.
It's like the rules being created after, you know.
And that's a promotion by a WWE authorized trainer. So so I don't know, you know, are we just not thinking about it at that point? You know, are we like, oh, it's indie wrestling, whatever, you know, like that gets scary too. Nobody was stopping them, train security or not. Biggest fear in RWA is someone, catching me from behind. Yeah, that's a scary thing, especially when we hear what they chant at you. So
they are ruthless in that room. Like,
Tony Kincaid is getting like fuck Zeke Mercer level to a certain point. Yeah, it's getting heavy down there.
We've seen it at 880. Like, you know, some fans get carried away and get like in people's faces, and like luckily, like, you know, we have a good enough rapport with everybody to, you know, de-escalate. It's never really a situation that's going to cross any lines. But like, that's the interesting place of where we're at in the business of how blurred the line is and who's in the know of what's actually happening. Like, it's obviously great to have surprises and everything like that, but safety should be paramount.
I think I'm gonna make a joke here, but I think part of the answer is we need MMA referees to be hired as wrestling referees.
Dude, jump between them. Yeah. Be that body in the middle. And that's like,
dude, you do not, have you seen MMA referees? Even at the independent level that I've worked, they could literally they look like they could, most of the time they were bigger than the fighters.
Yeah. And like, I've seen like an incidental shot or something, you know, follow through, get thrown, and the ref gets hit and he turns around and goes, like, you're about to there's about to be round 6. And
this just became a 3-way.
An MMA 3-way. Has this ever been done?
Actually.
More history lessons?
Listen, first of all, Carolina's fucking wild. Second of all, haven't you seen like the multi-person MMA thing from like Mexico or something? They can't do it in this country, I don't think. No. It's somewhere. Oh my God.
Okay, well, find this. I'll trade you. I'll show you ice fights from Russia where it's guys in full hockey equipment and headgear, and they legitimately box at center ice. It is some of the sickest fights I've ever seen.
Russian Ice Fight Championship?
Yeah.
Okay, but have you seen car jiu-jitsu?
Yes. Yeah. It's kind of like the guys with like the suit and tie too. Like, that shit's really cool. I love jiu-jitsu and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Gentleman something or other.
I can't remember.
The gentleman fights.
If anybody's
like tire fights where you have to get your tire wrestling, I think it's called, where you put your opponent into tire.
I hope you push them down a hill afterward.
Yes. If we did it in Pittsburgh, fuck yeah, you going down the incline. We're like, listen, Canton's right down the street.
You're going down the steepest hill ever.
Steepest hill in the United States. Let's go 3 blocks away from here, or like the one getting to it's bad enough. Anyways,
it's like cobblestone street. You're in for a bumpy ride.
There's this fence. Unfortunately, there's a fence over here on this other hill. So, well, that was one to disturb because the family in the back like feed deer in their backyard.
City deer,
city deer. Like, I watch it from my back window. I'm just like, it's wild. Anyways, God, where do we go from here? 5v5 MMA fights are fun to watch, says Alex from California.
I just remember, I think it was wasn't it the Mountain? Didn't he wrestle didn't he do a UFC fight with 2 smaller guys?
I think he did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And he just power bombed one of them into the other one.
Because isn't the Mountain like legitimately the Hound's brother? Like, is Thor Bjornsson?
Yeah. That was him, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, this is we
sick.
don't get a tear down, but yeah, there you go.
Dude.
USA versus Russia, 5-on-5 team MMA fighting.
It's War Games in just one big ring.
It's War Games.
That's so sick.
It's wonderful. I saw this and I just lost my mind.
I kind of want that shirt.
Also, like whoever does the like armored MMA that happens out there.
The knights.
And then also we find out like this is why I have fear going to the Ren Fair here in Pittsburgh, because we went to the one in Michigan because Baja was like literally 2 miles down the road.
Hell yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay, we got everything. Let's get out of here and go to our festival. And we got everything. We're good. But we go see the jousting and we talk to the guy afterwards and he's like, oh, we do the real jousting here. I'm like, what do you mean the real jousting? And we're just like, you see this chainmail and see the sticks and stuff. Like you go somewhere else, it looks like bad professional wrestling. And then I watched the video from the Pittsburgh Ren Fair and it looks like bad fucking professional wrestling. I was just like, oh my God, no. He was completely right. They had the chintziest little wooden shields and stuff. And this guy's like showing us a spot on his chainmail where he had not covered up yet. And he since did. Yeah. He's like, I've told this story so many times since last year. And it got the post was directly in his thigh.
Dude.
And he had to go to the hospital with this giant hole. Didn't realize he still had blood on his chainmail. He showed us. So he just like, yeah, we do like the real shit up here. I was like, that's
so cool.
Fucking because we like they had like a meet and greet. I'm like, KDR, and just like, I want to find out. Like,
I got questions.
Yeah, like I got questions, and he was so good at the trash talk. I'm like, fuck, this guy's a pro wrestler. He's got to be a pro wrestler. Not even a little bit. So cool. Not even a little bit.
That's gnarly because like I remember the movie Night Sale. Was it the Heath Ledger movie where he's a jouster?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I remember some of the effects.
And everybody back there knew "We Will Rock You."
Yeah.
For some reason.
Damn.
Those were the days. Anyways, let's see. Tony's saying Casey and I share similar sports backgrounds. Deck hockey fights are wild because they are equal parts uncoordinated and unstoppable, just pure chaos.
Tony and I had a conversation the last time I saw him. I believe that we did, I think, cross paths at Murraysville deck hockey at one point. Oh, yeah. But we have a bunch of mutual friends from like the staff and stuff. So it's always really cool to find out stuff like that.
Man, a lot of people from
Small
the show.
world.
A lot of people on the show did deck hockey. Remember the Remedy and Chad the Shad did deck hockey. So
I mean, Pittsburgh being a great hockey city and the Penn's Foundation putting up rinks all over. There are so many small community teams, but like I was super fortunate to live near Murraysville, and they have like a state-of-the-art facility that they built like a beautiful indoor rink. And like,
nice.
It's been a staple out there for the last 30 years.
The one behind the sheets?
Yeah.
We did an MMA show there.
That I remember we talked about that. Yeah.
That was like the stupidest MMA show I've ever been to. I mean, not because the promotion's great, but the fans were
insane,
and there were fights, and literally my commentators like, I'm glad I'm out here with a world-class MMA guy to protect me.
Oh yeah. So because that entire building's like one big Faraday cage, and like it's rough.
Internet was rough, and but there was a point where there was literally a fight on both sides on the outside of the cage.
Dude.
And that's when I'm like, where did my commentators go? Because I put a little camera on them to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are they standing and they're backwards? And I was like, because they were like watching out for shit, And I think we had CL was like bodying people as our Steadicam guy was going through the crowd to do entrances because we had no room. Dude. It was like, I think they went back since and like, okay, good fucking luck, man. Because that was like that's
an experience.
The beer line was right in front of my setups and they kept putting beer on my equipment. I'm like, fuck off.
They don't know. I accidentally spilled beer on your gear once and I have profusely apologized every show since.
Listen, the cameraman should have gotten the Iggy on that one and should have moved.
I loved just getting the finger from above. Like it was so good.
Oh, that
Penn Brewery.
Oh, the Penn Brewery where you're on the steps and you didn't get on the equipment, but I saw you do it right above my head.
Yeah.
Above all my equipment.
Yeah.
And it was fine. Like it was like you didn't actually get anything on it, but I was like, you're literally above my head and I'm switching the show on hardware.
Yeah.
And you just smashed a can and I was just like, all right, give me that shot. There we go. That's the finger up in the air.
If you've ever seen the movie Goon, the Jay Baruchel movie with Liev Schreiber, it's about like hockey fights. But there's a scene where the Trailer Park Boys have a cameo and they're in like a TV studio and they're fucking with Jay Baruchel and like you see them in the window just going it reminds me of that every single time.
Oh my god.
There's like 3 people out there that'll understand
Sean
it.
William Scott movie.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. We're moving. We're
All
going
over the place.
all over the place. So we obviously need to move on here. First of all, I'm going to give a shout out to our friends with the old ad spot. If I can move this, our friends at Slice on Broadway. Hey, we have pizza back there. So, by the way, if you need food,
dude,
we have. I don't know. They downgraded me the cheese pizza. I think they just forgot the pepperoni. So I don't know, or we just got, I don't know, maybe it's the economy or something. I'm just like, oh, I got cheese today. I don't care. I can't get mad about free pizza. Maybe
it's world famous.